Convention on the Rights of the Child, adopted by General Assembly Resolution 4425 of November 20, 1989. Article 21. States parties that recognize and/or permit the existence of an adoption system shall ensure that the best interests of the child are taken into account as a matter of priority, and they a. ensure that the adoption of a child is authorized only by the competent authorities, who determine, in accordance with applicable law and procedures and on the basis of all relevant and reliable information, that adoption is permissible due to the status of the child relative to parents, relatives and legal guardians, and that, if required, the persons concerned have given their informed consent to the adoption based on such consultation as may be necessary. B. Recognize that adoption in another country may be considered as an alternative way of caring for a child if the child cannot be placed in foster care or placed in a family that could provide for his upbringing or adoption, and if it is impossible to provide any suitable care in the country of origin of the child. C. Ensure that, in the case of adoption of a child in another country, the same guarantees and standards apply that apply to domestic adoption. D. Take all necessary measures to ensure that, in the case of adoption in another country, the placement of the child does not lead to unjustified financial benefits for related persons. E. Promote, where necessary, the achievement of the objectives of this article by concluding bilateral and multilateral arrangements or agreements and, on this basis, seek to ensure that the placement of the child in another country is carried out by the competent authorities or authorities. Article 22. 1. States parties shall take the necessary measures to ensure that a child seeking refugee status or being considered a refugee in accordance with applicable international or domestic law and procedures, whether accompanied or unaccompanied by his parents or any other person, adequate protection and humanitarian assistance in the enjoyment of the applicable rights set forth in this article, conventions and other international human rights or humanitarian instruments to which these state. 2. To this end, states parties shall, where they deem it necessary, facilitate any efforts by the United Nations and other competent intergovernmental organizations or non-governmental organizations cooperating with the United Nations to protect and assist such a child and to find the parents or other family members of any refugee child, in order to obtain the information necessary to reunite him with his family. In cases where parents or other family members cannot be found, this child is granted the same protection as any other child permanently or temporarily deprived of his or her family environment for any reason, as provided for in this convention. Article 23. 1. States parties recognize that a child who is mentally or physically handicapped must lead a full and dignified life in conditions that ensure his dignity, promote his self-confidence and facilitate his active participation in society. 2. States parties recognize the right of a disabled child to special care and shall encourage and ensure, subject to the availability of resources, the provision of assistance to the eligible child and those responsible for taking care of him, for which a request has been submitted and which corresponds to the condition of the child and the situation of his parents or other persons providing care for the child. 3. In recognition of the special needs of a disabled child, assistance in accordance with paragraph 2 of this article is provided, if possible, free of charge, taking into account the financial resources of parents or other persons providing care for the child, and is aimed at ensuring effective access to services in the field of education, vocational training, medical care, restoration of health, preparation for work activities and access to recreational facilities in a way that leads to the fullest possible to involve the child in social life and achieve the development of his personality, including the cultural and spiritual development of the child. 4. The participating states shall promote, in the spirit of international cooperation, the exchange of relevant information in the field of preventive health care and medical, psychological and functional treatment of handicapped children, including the dissemination of information on methods of rehabilitation, general education and vocational training, as well as access to this information, in order to enable the participating states to improve their capabilities and knowledge and expand your experience in this field. In this regard, special attention should be paid to the needs of developing countries. Article 24. 1. The participating states recognize the right of the child to use the most advanced services of the health system and means of treating diseases and restoring health. States parties shall strive to ensure that no child is deprived of his or her right to access such health care services. 2. States parties shall strive for the full realization of this right and, in particular, take the necessary measures to a. Reduce infant and child mortality rates. B. Ensuring the provision of necessary medical care and the protection of the health of all children, with priority given to the development of primary health care. C. Combating disease and malnutrition, including through primary health care, through, inter alia, the use of readily available technology and the provision of adequate nutritious food and clean drinking water, taking into account the danger and risk of environmental pollution. D. Providing mothers with adequate prenatal and postnatal health services. E. Ensuring that all segments of society, in particular parents and children, are aware of the health and nutrition of children, the benefits of breastfeeding, hygiene, sanitation of the child's environment and accident prevention, as well as their access to education and their support in the use of such knowledge. F. The development of educational work and services in the field of preventive medical care and family planning. 3. States parties shall take any effective and necessary measures to eliminate traditional practices that adversely affect the health of children. 4. The participating states undertake to promote and develop international cooperation with a view to gradually achieving the full realization of the right recognized in this article. In this regard, special attention should be paid to the needs of developing countries.